All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order, everyone. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, well, we've got full complement then, I guess. They're pretty close to it, right? Everyone's here. I want to welcome John Carpenter, our very, very, very brand new member as of a few minutes ago, actually. Can you speak now, John? Can you respond? No, he's still muted. Well, you're going to make a terrific member of this board of trustees if you're that silent. No.
So we've all been there with our computer, unfortunately.
Yes,
Bill, can you help him at all with the sound issue?
I don't think so. I think it's a local problem. John, can you hear us? Okay, so
Okay.
it might be a microphone problem since we can't hear him.
Have to unmute it.
No, it's unmuted. So
Oh, it is.
on
Okay.
on the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little caret icon, a little arrow. Click on
Okay.
that and then run through that test speaker and microphone process, and you might be able to switch your microphone input.
I don't have a cute baby or young child like Bill and Mark do, but Norm says hello, everyone.
Hello. And Mark, welcome back. We finally got you for a second round. Mark was
Yes.
also very new, all of one meeting, right, in person, and then that was it.
Yes, I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
You missed a chance to escape.
You missed a chance to escape, that's right. And actually, Courtney's here. Courtney, you're invited to the public session. I wanted you to come so that you can meet our members and kind of introduce yourself as well. John, when you get some ability to voice yourself, we'll have you introduce yourself as well. But Courtney's the president of our Friends, the Friends of the Library. So
Thank you for that.
Maybe you'd like to give us a little bit of an update or share with us what's going on.
Sure. Courtney Barr, and we've revamped the Friends of the Trumbull Library. And right now we have probably just over 30 members right now. And we also have probably about 12 active members. We've met in December and January, and we've had 2 mini golf meetings. We're really excited about having a mini golf event April 8th and April 9th. And we're super excited about that. And so right now we're just kind of planning for that event. We're putting all the materials together, and hopefully by next week, we'll be sending them out to businesses and to hopefully secure some sponsorships.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and we're hoping that then April 8th, we're hoping to do more of an adults night. We thought that would be really nice. And then on Saturday, the 9th, for the family and for everybody to come, and there'll be food and beverage and just a good time.
What a great start. My gosh, it's fabulous.
It really is. And just a reminder especially for our new members to the board, we can all become friends. So
Yes.
it's right. So there's something on our website.
Yes, yeah. It's if you go to the website, you click on About Us, and then there's a link up there that says Friends. You click on that, and it takes you to the information. Yeah. At some point, I think the Friends are planning on doing their own website, but for right now, this will be the portal for information.
That's good. That's good. So anybody in town who links onto our Trumbull website will see that. And I suggest and strongly encourage all of the members, if you haven't become a friend of the library, you're on the board. It's kind of silly though. You're already a friend of the library, to be honest with you. But thank you, Courtney. Any other correspondence, Stefan, that we have for this meeting tonight?
No.
No. Okay. So the first order of business would be to take a look at the approval of the minutes from November the 10th. Now, those of you who were there, obviously, if you haven't read through them back in November or December, please do so, scan them. The only ones, obviously, that can vote would have to be the ones that were there. If I'm remembering correctly, the rest can abstain if you weren't at that meeting. So I'll entertain a motion, if we've gone through that, to approve the minutes of November the 10th. Mary's gonna put the motion in, and do I have a second? Okay, Gail, thank you. Any discussion? No? All right. Then all those in favor of accepting the minutes from the November 10th meeting, say aye. All right, what do we got here? John, Gail, and Stefan, you got them? Okay, John, you're abstaining because you weren't there, right? And so was Mark. Or Mark was there.
Yes,
Mark was
Thursday.
there.
Mark was there, that's right. So we've got,
One abstention.
how many, one abstention? And how many, for Stefan is taking the notes, that's why. So do you have it all set, Stefan? You're muted.
You're muted, yes.
No, it keeps on clicking. But Carol, you were there, yes? Yes.
Okay, so we've got how many yeses?
I'll take the vote again.
Yeah, please. I'm a little confused. All right, all those that say yes and we're there. And so Mark, you were there as well, right?
Raise
So
your
we've got
hand.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us. Is that right?
Right.
Yes.
6 yay, no no's, and 1 abstention?
Yep.
Got it. Okay. All right, so let's go to the director's report. Stefan, you sent us this report, and I didn't know if there was anything from the November director's report, or you'll embed them both. Or-
I'm gonna embed them both. We've been
Great. Okay, go right ahead.
it's quite intensive. Yeah, so as you know, the town has gone back to working in teams, which is a model that is there to prevent COVID transmission. The way that the library was allowed to conduct that is by essentially isolating the different departments, and this took some doing. But essentially all of the children's staff only deals with children's staff. When they're in the library, we conduct, business as far as like meetings and, over Zoom or over telephone calls. Anybody with like, they're not to interact in any way. So it's been difficult to do it. And I think Fairchild lucked out because they were able to be their own team, and that meant that they just operate as usual. But the way that this ended up working out is that it allowed us to maintain our service hours, which was very big for us, rather than impact service to the public. Except for the first Sunday where we weren't we found out about the move to the Teams model on the Thursday before, on the Wednesday night before, and we only had the Thursday before New Year's Eve in order to get all these plans in place, and we were closed on that Friday. So Sunday, unfortunately, we were not able to be open, but we were able to get the teams worked out so that the following week we were able to have our Sundays back, and we're good for Sundays through the rest of the month. Right now, the teams model is supposed to be in place until January 28th. Hopefully at that point we'll move back. I can do anything for a month. That's what I told everybody. But hopefully after that we can go back to working in regular shifts, because it really does, strain the resources. Another issue was emergency lighting. So the Friday before Christmas weekend, not the Friday prior to that weekend, we got notified by the fire marshal that we weren't allowed to be open after dark. So we had to close the library at 4 o'clock because the emergency lighting system was in default. They have gone ahead and done all the repairs necessary to get them back up and running. The emergency lights are also now on backup batteries, so including the ones in the stacks. So if we do lose power, it makes it so that the entire library is visible. So that's done. Budget, we are currently in the budget process. I am asking for a number of different things, including increase in pay, restoration of our programming budget, and a number of additional services that have been proving useful or that we feel could be better if we start investing in them, including a new newsletter service, because the newsletters that we're putting out right now, it's very cumbersome, and it doesn't really look that good because the editor, if everybody knows what an HTML editor is, that's exactly what we're dealing with in terms of creating a newsletter. So there's like a number of other services out there that are much more user friendly. So they will take less time to create, but they also look a lot nicer, and they're more compatible when people are viewing the newsletter in their email or on their phone or something of that nature, where it automatically adjusts those things to make it look as nice as possible, right? So we're looking forward to that. Friends, I've been meeting regularly with the friends. We had our, the kickoff was in November. Thank you everybody for attending. And of course, for all of you that have attended the meeting since then. We had a regular meeting in December and in the beginning of January, and we've been doing a number of meetings with the fundraising committee regarding the mini golf. We met with Rick Bolton, who is the owner of Library Mini Golf, and he lives here in Trumbull. And he ran everybody through the process of how it all works and the details. I will say, and I told this to the fundraising committee on Monday, that I'm actually really even more excited than I was before, because I really feel like things are falling into place, and we're moving forward, and it's becoming more of a reality than it was last summer in June, when it was just Courtney and Janine and Joe Denon and I, and sitting down working through bylaws and things of that nature. So if it definitely feels like something is happening, and that definitely makes me feel good. This is a big project, and hopefully it come together. Finally, so social media, we moved to combining November. So we launched our new library calendar, which is our essentially our program management software. It's called LibCal, and it was a transition event away from the old the software that was no longer going to be supported. It's been very well received. It's been working very well, and it's allowed us to do a lot more things and a lot easier things regarding generating statistics, sending out emails and conversing with registrants, sending out posts, program surveys to see how they like things. It's been very useful for that, and it's at the click of a button rather than taking 50 steps as it did before. The second thing is that we've also started using a new social media manager, which is called Buffer, which combines all of our social media accounts into one centralized manager. So then you can, for instance, queue up all 3 services at the same time. So if you have a program that you've developed all this content for, now you can promote all these things across the social media platform, and choose dates and times in the future for when you want these things to happen. So it doesn't all go out at the same time. Rather, you can say, well, 1 week before the program, I want this to go out on Facebook or whatever it might be, and thereby sort of maximizing our social media presence. And of course, it also allows us to generate statistics. We can easily see how many people are looking at these different things. Points of contact. If anybody tries to contact us, it also alerts us to that. So it's nice to have, rather than having 3 different people look at 3 different accounts. Now we just have, one account that governs all 3 of them. So that's been working well. Finally, staffing. We had a retirement. One of our full-timers, Linda Norell, she retired on Friday last week. She has been working with us for over 20 years. She was our interlibrary loan specialist, and she was the one responsible for getting all those ILLs shipped from all the other places and then shipping them all back again, which is actually a really big job, and one that we've been training another person to fill. So that will be filled by Diane Early, and she's agreed to become the new interlibrary loan specialist. I have every confidence that she's going to be able to do that. And hopefully there'll be it's been a seamless transition. She's been picking up things and taking up the responsibilities as we've approached the retirement date. That said, we are going to refill her position. Human Resources has already received permission to start the testing process to get a new person into that slot. I do think it's going to take probably several months, simply because the testing process is just the first part, and then interviews, and then the paperwork involved as well. Finally, also we also have Miriam Hornberg from the Fairchild Library. She took a job with the town of Woodbridge for their library, and she had her last day last week. So she's still going to be working for us on Sundays. She elected to help us out with that. But we are in the process of already filling her position. We are interviewing 4 candidates tomorrow, and hopefully that process will, speed up, and we'll be able to get a person in there. There are also 2 other positions at the main library that I'm looking for good candidates for. So hopefully this whole COVID thing is not going to make anything worse.
Stefan, you've done a lot despite all of our fragmented openings and back and forth. Question, what was Diane Early's position? You said she's going to be taking Linda's position. What was Diane's?
Yeah, so I'm sorry, hold on. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, my other screen is
I know
actually,
you were
I need to get a better,
going incognito there for a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly,
Go ahead.
So yes, Diane, she's a processing, essentially like a library technical assistant that was working a lot with the processing of the books, amending books, putting them into the catalog, and then she was also out on the circulation and information services desk. She's a very reliable part-timer. She knows what she's doing, and she also knows the details of the job, which is one of the benefits to having her take over the interlibrary loan facet.
Yeah, that's seamless. So you'll be replacing her position, and then what are the other 2 positions you said that are open that you're looking?
Those are permanent part-time staff members.
Okay.
And that also includes Miriam Hornberg, who was over at the Fairchild Library.
At Fairchild as well. Okay. And just to go back a second, Courtney, I can't tell you how wonderfully happy the board is to have you and 30 members, active members. I mean, we are really pleased with that. So, and to hear that there's a fundraising subcommittee, Stefan, that's part of the, I mean, we're just thrilled. So I'm very happy. And I know I speak on behalf of the whole board that to have you in that position. So thank you. Any other questions for Stefan from the director's report? Okay, seeing none. John, you're on. Treasurer's report. How did we do this 2 months? What do you think?
What do you think? Well, for the benefit of the 2 people who are not familiar with what we do, both Courtney and John,
That's right.
the board has an independent source of income derived by some fundraising, memorial requests, and we have another aspects, and also we have 3 trust funds independently managed that we get a grant on an annual basis at the end of each year. They're known as Hawley, Merwin, and Mallet. And our job is to really support the library and program and book purchases and things of that nature. It basically extends their budget. So it's independent totally of the town budget. And all the funds are then approved through us. And Courtney, by the way, there is some monies that we have from the old friends still on the books that they gave to us, I guess, a couple of years ago. And this is doled out for various aspects. So the friends have been good to us in the past, and we look forward to the future too. So that's basically the background of what we do in the funding aspect of things. Because we couldn't meet in December because of the lack of quorum, my report here will obviously have to combine both November and December. And that's easy to do because the pattern of spending for each month was identical. Total spending for these months was 2 months to combine was close to $4,000. Of these book purchases accounted for 64% of the total. And that was paid through the Hawley and the Merwin Trust funds. Programming expenses accounted for another 29%. And we used Mallet because Mallet's used for programs. And with the remainder from the memorial fundraising funds for a recurring maintenance expense, which every month we have to pay the rental on a dumpster. We help the library in that regard. Income, we only had, of the 2 months, all the income we received only during December. And that included an anonymous memorial contribution amounting to $2,000. And also we had our annual grant from the Hawley Trust Fund of about $7,000. It was greater than we had last year. We have one more fund to be heard from, that's Mallet, but their annual grant was not received before the close of 2021. So can't be reported here, but probably will be reported next month. Basically the end of our report.
Okay, any questions on the report? No, John, I was just curious, do we know how much so far we've spent of our allotment from the board, from the town?
What do you mean?
You know, that we were budgeted by the town, out of the town's budget. Do we know how much of what has been spent so far?
What the town budget is?
Yeah, I mean, do
Oh,
we
yeah,
know?
well, that's I haven't reported on.
Maybe we could check from Lewis to see. I know.
I have it here. It's actually, the board members all get a spreadsheet of all of the expenses.
Right.
And I guess I didn't include it in my report this time, but the library has spent, need a bit of an assistance here.
I mean, if you don't have it right now, I mean, that's something that.
They spent so far 51.6%.
Oh, I see.
And
Yeah.
50% it could be, this is mid-year, so
Right.
anyway, so they're basically in budget for
Right.
the year so far. 51.6 is considered in budget at this point.
Okay. Good. Okay. Very good. I wouldn't have expected that we had spent too much because we've had such a crazy year. I mean, it hasn't been,
That's true, yeah.
it hasn't been open that much. So good. Okay.
Stefan and Lewis keep us out of the red pretty well.
That's
so
true. That's
you're
true.
right.
I just don't want to give anything back to the town. I want to spend what they've allotted. Otherwise, we won't even get what we requested if we don't show that we spent it. Terrific. Okay, Mary and Gail, who'd like to do the honors to let us know what's happening at Fairchild?
Well, we had our meeting last week, and in December, we had an open house on December 4th, the same day as the Jingle Bell Run. And that was well attended, and feedback has been very positive about the open house. There were people in the library, there was like a make and take kind of activity that day. And Paula was very happy with the flow in and out of the library on that day. We still have a lot going on with our elevator. We're probably not ready to report on that. Gail, you're
okay.
sitting over there. And
You can hold
Stefan,
it. That's all right.
we're very excited because we're getting closer, but I don't think we should report on anything until we have more solid information.
There's so many ups and downs in that story, aren't there?
That's fine. For John's benefit and Mark's benefit, the library at Fairchild has been an ongoing saga, to say the least, for years, actually.
The elevator story, yeah.
Well, we
Well-
have this dynamic team now of Rachel, Preston, and Charles. And they really dissected both proposals. And it was amazing. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting very, very close. Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
They were able to cut through all of that, whatever.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have a party. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Please, Mayor, I want to take a ride up and down the elevator. Once it
Right.
works.
Make a phone call from the
You're
elevator.
very courageous, Rosemary.
What's that, John?
You're very courageous to take a ride in the elevator.
Well, I didn't say I was going to be the first. I just said.
Not the old one. Wait for the new one.
I'll wait for the new one. Yes, I
Right.
will, Mayor. Very good.
Our next meeting, we're working on bylaws. We're thinking about that. And we will talk about that later in the spring. But that's pretty much all that's going on with the Fairchild.
Good. Okay. Terrific. Okay. The only other old business that I have on the agenda is that we need to consider the memorial for Joan. We had decided we wanted to do a plaque, and we met with Don, who has done plaques for us in the past, which I hadn't realized that. And Stefan and I and Don walked around and found the location that we thought would work for Joan. For those of you, Joan Hamill was a long-time library board trustee for many, many years. And she recently passed away in, God, what was it, October, November?
Yeah.
Yeah, suddenly. And so we're trying to think of what would make sense to put on the plaque wording. I don't know if Stefan, you were able to think of anything of what, I mean, obviously we'll get her years of service to the board from Vicky, but did you have any suggestions, or does anyone have any suggestions? Those of us who knew her. Nothing?
I know
Need to
that.
think about that, yeah.
I mean, like, I know that she was, intimately involved with the nonfiction book club. She was like pretty much the proponent of that for many years. She also was, well, aside from being on the board, she also was involved with various activities, including Taste of Trumbull. We can.
One book, one town, too.
One book, one
And
town.
the book went down.
Yeah.
I think, listing some of those things on the memorial will be appropriate.
Does anyone have any suggestion? I mean, Stefan, it's hard. I don't know if everyone is aware of the location of where we were thinking of doing this. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, so if you walk into the main library and you take a left towards the new book collection, the new nonfiction collection is located to the right of the double doors where you would normally be able to access the community room. And on the right hand side, there's a small wall that's next to the new nonfiction collection, which given the fact that she was involved with the nonfiction book club, we thought it was an appropriate location, and it would be in a space where people would see it. So that's the other.
Right. Does anyone have any suggestions that they think should be added to the wording? I mean, we don't want it to become lengthy, but I don't know.
I think someone has just a couple of people have to get together and put together something for us to see. I mean, to try and put it together in a group like this is not going to work. But Stefan was proper in showing the terms of service in both supporting a program and fundraising and everything else. So we could something about the kinds of activities that she was involved in, the generic, fundraising, support, blah, 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 over a certain span of years.
Yeah.
Think
Okay.
And
will sit-
I just our sincerest gratitude, for her service.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right. It doesn't have to be long.
No, it has to be short, otherwise people won't read it, so.
Well, that's true. We had thought of, I think what we liked was that it was a wooden border on the plaque. Is that, if I'm remembering correctly, and then the plaque itself was black, and then the lettering would be highlighted in gold. I think that's what we were thinking of, right, Stefan?
Yes. Yeah.
When we first talked about it.
How large is it gonna be? Size, any idea?
I don't remember what the size was, and I'm bad judging sizes. Do you remember, Stefan?
Well, he could do it in like in a variety, like everything from like
Was it
an 8-inch wide, maybe 6 inches high, to a letter size like 8.5 by 11 to even a larger sort of like a ledger size piece of like framing, and it is on a wooden block essentially,
Right.
and then the actual plate is attached to the block, and then has the engraving on it.
Yeah, I think it's about the size of a piece of paper, right? 8.5 by 11, that size, I think we were looking at. Well, okay, I've forgotten. Do we need a motion as to the amount that we want to spend, or I don't know what the board's pleasure is, what you're thinking?
Well, I think it'd be good for people to put together a proposal, what they want. I mean, and we'll fulfill that on the reasonable terms. I mean, it can't be
Okay.
too expensive.
Okay, why don't, Stefan, I'll sit down with you. Is there anyone else who'd like to sit down with Stefan and myself to come up with some wording and then submit it to Don for a proposal? Is there anyone else who'd like to be part of
I'd be
that?
interested because since I knew the woman, yes.
That's right, John. Carol, did you say you wanted it too? I'm sorry.
I'm happy to defer to John.
Okay,
I think
Okay.
3 people is enough.
okay, all right. So why don't we set up a time afterwards, John and Stefan and myself, and we'll come up with some wording. We'll bring it back to the board to take a look at, and we'll get a proposal from Don as to what that final expense would be for that plaque. Sound good, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's good. We'll move forward with that. And I don't, is there any other old business that, I couldn't think of anything else for old business. Anybody else know of any other old business that we didn't complete? Okay, new business, anything for new? The only thing I was thinking of is that our new members, please make sure you send the information, your address, your cell phone number, all of that. Let's get that to Judy, Stefan's secretary, so that we can then get an updated roster, and we'll send the roster out to everyone. So we all know who's, how
I
to
see who
get
has a
their-
microphone. He could probably speak now. John, can you speak?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, wonderful. Yes,
Lovely.
all right.
Welcome to the
Okay.
board.
I had to, thank you. I had to switch over to my wife's computer. I don't know. My computer has a microphone issue sometimes and it doesn't always cooperate. So
Well, John, would you like to introduce yourself? Before
sure,
we end the meeting.
sure. Yeah, name's John Carpenter and I don't know. My wife and I have lived here in Trumbull for 26 years now, over in the Nichols area off Booth Hill Road. And I've had 3 kids that have grown up here in Trumbull and went through the public school system, all graduated, avid readers, at least one of them could never keep a book out of her hand. It seemed like she was always reading and still loves to read. I am the CEO of a company in Stratford called US Chrome Corporation. We do metal finishing. I've been working there for pretty much the same amount of time that I've been here in Trumbull. In fact, I've worked there ever since I got out of graduate school. and then just worked my way through, and now I'm the CEO there. We have like 5 different locations around the country. It's about 107 people altogether in our company, and we do metal finishing, mostly for wear resistant coatings and corrosion resistance. And we touch all kinds of industries. We work with Sikorsky and Hamilton or Collins Aerospace and agricultural businesses and motorsports and all, just every places where you need wear resistant coatings, and it's an interesting business, and so I enjoy that. And I don't know, I mean, I am an avid reader. I enjoy spending a lot of time reading things on the internet and books of different types, and so I'm happy to join this board and help out with the library system. And I think our neighbor and my friend Julia McNamee, who's also, I think, a board member here, had something to do with getting me involved. So I think, I appreciate that. And we, the two of us, our families go back a long way here in Trumbull. And so anyway, I don't know if there's any other information you're interested in knowing about me, but that's kind of a short little synopsis.
And John, I realized I put you on the spot, but what I didn't do was to have all of the other board members introduce themselves, so you'll know us. I can begin. Obviously, my name is Rosemary Seaman. I'm a former educator, retired, Hillcrest principal, Trumbull High School house principal, former Board of Ed member, Board of Finance member, retired from politics, and then lived in Trumbull for over 40 years, raised 2 children. John, your last name sounds familiar. If you're Julia's neighbor, your children must have gone through Hillcrest too?
They did, yes. They all 3 went through Booth Hill and then Hillcrest. Yeah.
Right. Okay. When you were
their names were Ellen, Elizabeth, and Erica.
They're not ringing bells, which I say when that doesn't happen, they weren't in my office a lot, so that was good. They were good. So no, I don't recall the names, but that's my background too. So Carol, Carol's our vice chairman. Carol, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Also, I'd like to learn more about Courtney, because she's been so active, and I'm so glad to meet you, because you really got on board and were very expedient, and thank you for all your work. So I was born in Trumbull, Connecticut, raised in Trumbull. Well, I have to take that back. I moved as a very young child, but raised in Trumbull, left for a few years back. I know Mary Santilli from St. Joe's High School, which is a very sweet story. She was always a good person. And I'm a small business owner in town. I have an online business, and I have always loved democracy and wanted to be involved in our town. Although I don't love politics so much, I went to the Democratic Committee and said I'd like to get involved. And so one day I got a call and said, would you like to serve on the library board? And considering that I love books, particularly nonfiction, I thought it was a way to contribute to our community, which I really love. I've admired all of the board directors, first under, this is so funny, I'm drawing a blank because I absolutely love her, Sue Horton, and then Stefan came in, and I think we have great leadership. Lewis has always been, a rock for the board, and it's just a wonderful library, and all of our surveys reveal that. So I'm proud to be part of it and contribute what I can.
Thanks.
So thank you.
Mark is brand new. He gave us an introduction back in November, but we didn't meet in December. So
and I just might add, like Julia and John Carpenter, Mark and I are also neighbors. Julia and John, right?
Okay.
And and Mark and I would bump into each other. I'd be walking my dog and he'd be jogging at 10 o'clock at night, and we'd have our conversations in the corner of Alpine and Driftwood.
There you go. Okay, yeah. Mark.
Yes, she's a great recruiter. I'm here because of her. Yes, I'm Mike St. Louis. I've been in Trumbull now since 2009. I have like a young family, a wife and two boys. My oldest go to the Trumbull Public School. I'm also like a small business owner. So this library has been good to me. I read a lot. I usually get a lot of books there, which sometimes I have to pay money because they're always late. So I do find like a funny environment with the board. So I was happy to be there a couple of months ago. So I look forward to working with you, John. And I'm excited you're doing business with Sikorsky and Hamilton's no longer around.
Yeah,
But
Collins Aerospace. Yeah,
that's correct. Yes, because I used to work for UTC there, so I'm familiar with what we do, with what you do. So welcome aboard, and I'm happy you're here.
Thank you. Gail, want to give us a little rundown for John and review for Mark again?
Yeah, I live in Nichols. I'm the rep from the Nichols Fairchild Library Board, and I raised my 4 kids at the little library. And luckily, my kids never saw Rosemary's Office either.
Right.
Okay, and lived here for 37 years. Ran Girl Scout troops. No, Julia, she was my co-leader in Girl Scouts. And welcome.
thank you.
Mary, you're still working here.
Hi, I'm Mary Santilli. I work for the Trumbull Public Schools. I am the program leader for elementary math. And I've lived here for 25 years now. I'm on Hilltop Drive, and I too am a rep from the Nichols Library. We have 2 representatives from the Nichols Library who we attend board meetings and Nichols Fairchild meetings. So twice a month we go to meetings. Yay. It is so nice to have our new members of the board. I was fortunate to meet Mark at our meeting in November, and Courtney, I am joining the Friends. I haven't forgotten. I will do that, but thank you for all your hard work. We're so thrilled to have this energy, and welcome, John. It's great. I think that we're growing an energetic board. So it's wonderful to have you here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So I have a question, Courtney. You know Kelly Malazzi?
Yes, I do.
So tell us how you got involved, because I'd love to hear.
But Carol, excuse me, if I could just interrupt, John hasn't introduced himself. John Freitas. Let's let
I'm
John
sorry,
introduce-
our treasurer.
That's okay. Our treasurer, and then we'll go to Courtney, if that's okay. John?
I guess I've been in town since 72. You do the math, that's 50 years. Time really flies when you're having fun. And of course, I have kids that have gone through the school system. I don't know if they were probably maybe predated you, Rosemary, I'm not so sure. I've been on the board for maybe 7 or 8 years. Probably half of that is being the treasurer. We've done a lot of good things over the years, and we're very active, and hope that we can continue to do that in the future. My background is I'm in the metals business, retired. I had an R&D group, Olin Corporation, up in New Haven, where we're basically in the copper alloy business, develop new alloys and products. So I was in product development for that time. I had a number of people working for me, and prior to that, I did teach for a while at MIT, and but I found that industry was very appealing, and that's what I ended up doing. The hope is that we can continue and do a lot of good things on this board. We were involved with hiring Stefan. That was one of the best things that we did, and we had a number of things that with the Friends of Trumbull and things of that nature. We did do a strategic plan, which for you new members will see is we do have a plan for what we want to do over the next 5 years. And would maybe try and implement that.
Right.
So we can be an active group if we choose to be, and I hope that we will.
Well, thank
So
you,
anyway,
John.
welcome, John and Courtney. And I'm glad that you're taking over on the Friends, because the Friends that we had before were of limited use to us. But then I'm sure that with the agenda and the things that you're planning to do, we really do welcome the new friends.
Thank you. Courtney, go back to Carol's question. What did you ask, Carol? I'm sorry.
Well, I'd just love to hear about how she got involved
Oh,
because
okay.
she's made so much progress. And just the fact that you're at the meeting is wonderful to share it with us. So we really appreciate it because we look forward to, establishing and maintaining a close relationship with the Friends and kind of like a fresh start for us with the Friends. So
Yeah.
love to
great.
hear about you.
I'm so excited. This is a wonderful opportunity. So thank you so much. Kelly Malazzi and I are in the same
Yeah.
book, and
Okay. Yeah.
she was on the board, and I told her how much I would love to be involved with the library in some way, and she put me in touch with Stefan, and Stefan got back with me regarding the Friends group, and we were able to. I think he wanted to start it up again, and so we started meeting, and here we are. I have been in Trumbull for 11 years, and I'm married with 2 children. My daughter is at Madison Elementary School. She's in 6th grade, and she's 11. And my son is a freshman at Trumbull High School, and he's 14. And so when the kids were at Tashua Elementary School, and I was home with them, so I volunteered at the library at Tashua, and I just really enjoyed it. And I did a fundraising event for them to raise money, and it was great. We did a silent auction, and it was a big event. It was a kind of a parents' night out, and it worked out very well. And we raised a lot of money for the library, and I just really enjoyed doing it. And I love our library. I found just solace, I guess, whenever I go into the library and check out books. And I've always been, it was sort of, we always make a day of it, like going and picking out books and reading them. And honestly, I it's kind of funny, but I really enjoyed checking out cooking books as well, because I started, just cooking and doing French cooking or, German cooking or something different. And I thought that was kind of a good hobby for a little while. And currently I am a para at Jane Ryan Elementary School. And so I don't know, I'm just keeping busy and doing a lot of things. And so I'm really just excited about this opportunity and looking forward to helping here.
Well, we're very happy that you're able to carve out some time to be the leader of our new Friends group. And so we are very thankful for that. Okay, and thank you for carving out time to be here at a minute's notice, because you're not officially a member of the board, but we wanted to make sure that there's a connection and a relationship between the Friends and the board as well. So thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight. Any other new business? Well, if there isn't any, I will certainly entertain a motion to adjourn. Hearing anybody? You got to unmute, guys.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, there goes Carol and John to second. All those in favor? Anybody who doesn't want to? Okay, thanks, everyone. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Good night.
We'll see you next month.
Thank you. Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Bill.
Bye.